situation at mid-term. The situation is degrading. The situation is degrading in the eastern part, all the Etosha Basin, but also in the eastern part of the Kulene area. It's not degrading in the central part because of the higher recharge that they will get at mid-term. But in the long term, the long run, the degradation is total, all the country. And again, the white areas, because there is no water at all. It cannot degrade more because it's already zero water level. Now we have to compare this groundwater availability with the water demand. Fortunately, I would say, in the eastern part where there is no water, there is nobody. And there is a consequence, I suppose, of this situation, which is not new. The water demand is higher in the northeast, where it is more industrialized, and it's also the area which is irrigated, and the water is supplied from the river, the Kulene River, coming from Angola. So this part in the north has a high water demand, total water demand, but it's supplied by surface water. All the rest has to be supplied by the groundwater. And you can see that the water demand is augmenting, is increasing at the projection 2750. We didn't project more than 2750. It's not reasonable to make projections of water demand on a so long term because we don't know what will be the infrastructure, we don't know what will be the evolution of economical activity and so on. Therefore, this is the result of this part of the computation. We also made in the study other economical aspects, but I will not present them here. The water stress index is computed according to the SDG 6.4.2. It's the comparison of the water demand and the water resource. You can see all the red areas where the water stress is more than 100%. And all the dashed areas are areas where the quality is bad, so you cannot use this water unless you pay a lot for its treatment. So the only remaining areas where there is water are along the Dolomitic belt here, an aquifer, carbonated aquifer, which gets more recharge, which gets a little bit of recharge, and volcanic areas here where there is nobody. So it's for that reason that it stays green with this water stress. If we consider the water stress, this is the present water stress in 2050. Of course, the situation degrades, not only because the recharge decreased in the eastern part, but also because of the growth of the increase of the population. So, despite the fact that we have more recharge in the Okoro area, in the central part, because we have more people, the stress is still increasing. So as a conclusion, our statement is that by 2050, the population will increase by 24%, and the rural domestic water demand is expected to grow by 42%. It's an important increase. The services to supply this population will develop accordingly, and the agriculture development is very, very limited. There is no water available for agriculture in these areas, except in the northern part where there is this canal which is giving some water from the Kulene River. Most of the area has no perspective of development of its agriculture. and all the cities of the Pyrenees regions will face very severe water crisis. In the rural areas, the demand may stay sufficiently low to avoid major issues, so there is some water available, but because there is a very low density of population and not so much increase of population, it's still sustainable. But there is a big problem that is first the tourism. There is more and more tourism, so they need water. And there is no water available for more water demand from tourism and the mining industry. And there is a lot of mining prospection investigations in this area today that will give tomorrow. Tomorrow it's 2024, not long term. New mines which have a very high need of water. And the only source of water here is groundwater, so there is no groundwater available. So they will need to take water from probably the river, hundreds of kilometers in the north, or the sea, hundreds of kilometers in the west, but with a very high elevation, change in elevation. It's more than 1,500 meters between the sea level and the mining activity. So maybe that's a chance for the population, that's mining activity, finally, because they are the only one that have the money to make such big such big development for bringing water and treating water. To finish, the Homo City region has a very low quality of groundwater, but we have some indices, some ideas that deeper we can find fresh water, and investigation need to be done to confirm this hydrogen coating hypothesis. So I want to thank you for your attention. Again, if my colleague from Namibia is here, but I don't
I have questions, but maybe other people have questions as well. Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So, my name is Ilham, I'm from Indonesia. The first question will be, climate change affects very big to our quantity and quality of groundwater, right? And can we, can we generalize that climate change is not the biggest factor of the quantity and quality changes in groundwater? And then my second question is, I'm coming from Sidoarjo in Java, Indonesia, and we have a big disaster there, the biggest mud volcano in the world. And we analyzed groundwater quality there, and we found that there is also some heavy metals there. And my question will be, do you have any brief suggestion for us, like which kind of method that we should apply to process groundwater to make it drinkable? Because we still have this kind of system, so that's why it's really nice to learn from you.
Okay, thank you for your questions. Unfortunately, I won't answer the second one because it's an hydrogeologist. I'm not familiar with all the water treatments, but I'm sure in the forum you will find specialized people. Regarding your first question about climatic change, my opinion is not that it is not climatic change that is the biggest threat on the groundwater resource. The major impact is from the growing of the population and the growing of the activities. We have seen that climate change may also improve in some areas the conditions, but when considering the water demand, the whole country is degraded. So for me, in this region, it's not climate change the major problem.
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions? Other questions? Yeah, I was wondering, I don't have the map anymore, but I was wondering what caused the presence of
Sulfate,
sulfates and what is the other?
fluoride.
Yeah, what caused it?
We have gypsum layers in the sedimentary basin, which are responsible for sulfate and fluoride. And in the Kunene area, we have also fluorides in the hard rock formations. It's very common in Africa to have fluoride high concentration in hard rocks formations. So it's a major problem of water quality, not only in Namibia.
We've seen that, for those who know Namibia, the coast is very hostile.
Skeleton coast.
Skeleton coast. I've been there, so I've seen it with my eyes. It's very striking. But do you know if they're considering desal to supply water to the country, or desalination, or because they are in a very critical situation, and
there is a desalination plant in Trécopier, which is a former mine for uranium. This desalination plant already supplies the city of Swakopmund. It is planned, there is a project to boost this water to Windhoek, the capital of Namibia. So it's a few hundreds of kilometers, but high elevation difference. The other project to supply Windhoek is to extend the canal from the Okavango River. So both projects are very criticized on the environmental aspects, of course. But it's far from the area where I worked. Yes. In the northern part of Namibia, there is no project for desalination yet, but there might be some project one day if they want to develop mining activities.
because the Okavango River is already a river that is not reaching the sea. So it's already...
It's a big problem. It goes to Botswana, where there is a big delta, inland delta. And if the Namibian take from the Okavango, of course the Botswana people do not agree with that. They could take from the Kunene River. They have an agreement with the Angola, and they did not reach the maximum quantity in this agreement. So they want to take a new canal from the Kunene River to supply the northern part of Kunene, as I showed. This could be a solution. The only problem is that Kunene River also has low periods of water. And when we think globally, we say yes, there is water available, but this water is not available all along the year. And it will not solve all the problem, but at least it will improve a little bit the situation.
The Kalahari region, which is from a French standpoint already a desertic area, there is a chance that there is fossil groundwater or some groundwater?
Yes, I would not call it fossil groundwater. I think this is a big sedimentary basin which extends in Angola, and Angola has a much higher rainfall than Namibia. They have hilly areas where there is important rainfall. They provoke this flooding towards the Etosha Pan every year, and most of this water, not most, but part of this water infiltrates. And it infiltrates in Angola, but the aquifer may be continuous, and we may have a deep layer of sand which contains fresh water. It's old water, of course. It's very old because the water goes very slowly, but it's still it would be still furnished or re-alimented by the rainfall in Angola. The German cooperation has drilled boreholes in the eastern part of the basin, and they have found water 400-meter deep, which is of good quality despite some fault. So yes, there is hope by drilling deep wells to supply a part of the Musati area.
Thank you very much. It was really interesting, and the presentation is available for whoever is interested. Thank you.
Thank you to